welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. I'm Kristin, Holton, Prouty, and this weekend we are celebrating something that is so special, especially in the Lutheran tradition, Reformation. Now, we often talk about Pentecost as being the birthday of the church, but Reformation is really the birthday of the Lutheran Church. This is when 506 years ago, Martin Luther took his 95 Theses and he nailed them on the door of Wittenberg. And he put them up there not because he wanted to start a new church. In fact, he even said we shouldn't be called Lutherans, we should be called Christians. But because he really had so many things that he wanted to discuss. He said there's so many issues within the Catholic Church right now, and he wanted people to come together and spark some change in the church. Now, he did spark some change even wider than that, caused a Reformation, and from that we have many, many different denominations across Protestantism, and Martin Luther is still a person that we're talking about today, 6 years later. 506 years later. So, I hope that you will join us here at Victory this weekend. We're doing something called Reformation. So this whole weekend, we're taking the time to celebrate this beautiful and rich tradition of wanting to follow Christ to the best of our abilities. So we'll have our traditional worship services on Saturday at 4 and also Sunday at 8 and 9:30. You can join us online for our live stream at 9:30. And then in the afternoon, we're doing a hymn festival. Now, we're going to have the choir, there's going to be brass, but really it's going to be the whole congregation coming together, lifting their voices in these great hymns of faith and praise to the glory of God. Now, Martin Luther said about music, next to the word of God, music deserves the highest praise. The gift of language combined with the gift of music was given to man that he should proclaim the word of God through music. Martin Luther was so committed to people being able to sing the word of God that he took some of the Latin chants that were being used in the Catholic Church, he translated them into German, and he set them in a more metrical way that was easier for people to sing, things that we now call hymns. In fact, if you would open up our green hymnal here and flip to the back where it talks about who the composers are, you'll find 20 hymns just in this hymnal, some almost 500 years later when this hymnal was published. We're still singing the hymns that Martin Luther wanted the people to be able to sing in their own language. And one of them, A Mighty Fortress, I'm going to play for you just here in a minute. So these have stood the test of time. He also would take popular tunes that people knew and set other words to them, because I think you'll agree with me that when we sing something, it sticks in our head. I know when my kids learn a song, they have it forever. And it's the same for us. When we sing these great hymns of faith, they become a part of us and they help us to worship even better, even more deeply. And it's my hope every week when you leave worship here at Victory, that you'll have some tune stuck in your head, that during the week something will happen and you'll have a little phrase come into your mind because you've been singing it and it's become so much a part of you. So Sunday afternoon, you are invited to come to our hymn festival. It's going to be right here in our sanctuary. We're going to be singing, we're going to be having some readings, and it's just going to be a wonderful time to celebrate. Now, also as part of the Reformation that we have on Monday, we're going to be showing a video about Martin Luther. There's 2 showings, one at 10 in the morning and one at 6 in the evening. So if you ever wanted to know more about Martin Luther, this would be a great time for you to come. I've even heard a rumor that there's going to be some popcorn. So however you can be a part of what is happening on this Reformation weekend, I hope that you'll be a part of that here at Victory. For me personally, I'm excited for the music, the great hymns of faith, having some brass join with us. The choir has been preparing, and so I just know that it's going to be a really high and joyful weekend for us. I'm going to end by playing what is definitely Martin Luther's most well-known hymn, A Mighty Fortress is Our God. This is a setting written by Rebecca to Velde, and it's kind of a fanfare sound, and you'll hear some trumpets and full organ. Really joyful, really joyous. Now, on Reformation weekend, don't forget to wear red. We like to come together and look like we plan to come to this party, so wear some red if you've got it. And I hope you think about the words. Why this hymn has probably stuck with us all these years is for the last line that says, no matter what happens in this world, God's truth abideth still, his kingdom is forever. Happy Reformation, and I'll be back with you again next week. Thank you.